Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming out. Could we take just a moment of silence for Justin Evans Jr., the 6-year-old who is being utilized today? Thank you. My name is Fred Royal, President of the NAACP-Milwaukee branch, also a member of the Community Coalition for Quality Policing. We are a diverse coalition of 23 community organizations and religious leaders who come together for the express purpose of improving the quality of life in Milwaukee by improving police-community relations, reducing crime, improving the lives of community members and police officers. We represent citizens and community organizations coming together to be a positive force for change. We are committed to the well-being of our community, including law enforcement officers and the residents of the community that they serve. For many months, we have been working with Mayor Barrett, Chief Flynn, the Milwaukee Fire and Police Commission, the Milwaukee Police Associations, and others to improve community relations and trust between law enforcement and those they are charged to protect. Through this process, we have flown in experts in civil rights and law enforcement with a focus on problem-oriented policing. We have convened focus meetings and held town hall gatherings, engaging, educating, and listening to thousands of concerned professionals and residents. Recent controversies led us to believe that now is the perfect moment for our mayor, alders, police chief, and fire and police commission to make a positive step towards improving police-community relations. We call on the 5 following actions.
I'm Ilana Khan. I'm Director of the Jewish Community Relations Council of the Milwaukee Jewish Federation. Our first point is that it's time to support a strong fire and police commission. Trust between law enforcement and the people they protect and serve is the cornerstone of a safe community and is essential for a democracy. It is key to stability of our community and the integrity of our criminal justice system. A key component of building that trust, according to the President's Task Force on 21st Century Policing, is ensuring transparency and accountability. The task force's final report tells us that, quote, decades of research and practice support the premise that people are more likely to obey the law when they believe that those who are enforcing it have the legitimate authority to tell them what to do. But the public confers legitimacy only on those they believe are acting in procedurally just ways. Essential to building that public trust and improving outcomes for all is proper and impartial oversight, transparent policies, and responses to incidents and ongoing accountability. Indeed, establishing civilian oversight is one of the task force's recommendations. Without civilian oversight, the task force found, it is difficult, if not impossible, for the police to maintain the public's trust. Our city is remarkable for its early and wise establishment of such an oversight board 132 years ago. We're well ahead of other cities in that we already have an infrastructure that can significantly improve community safety. The Fire and Police Commission has as its purpose, quote, to ensure that the fire and police departments are prepared to protect the lives and property of Milwaukee citizens with adequate transparency and accountability. It is time for us to support a strong Fire and Police Commission with adequate power, space, and financial resources.
Good morning, everyone. Daryl Modine, past National Vice President for the League of United Latin American Citizens, or LULAC. We call for the adherence to the authority of the Fire and Police Commission. All material policies for policing in Milwaukee must be approved by the Fire and Police Commission, which includes the process for receiving public input. Our mayor, his administration, the police chief, all of them must consistently honor and abide by that process and respect the authority of the Fire and Police Commission, a body that is statutorily empowered to review and establish standard operating procedures for our fire and police departments. And I read this from the commission rules itself, and I quote, "Any rule proposed by the chief is subject to review and approval by the fire and police commissioners. Any rule proposed by the chief shall not take effect until the rule is reviewed and approved by the board. Let me add that recently, the statutory authority of the Fire and Police Commission was abridged and circumvented. There was great controversy caused by this. So as such, we today are also calling on the Fire and Police Commission to amend the rule that allowed them, the people's representatives who oversee our police department and fire department, that no longer be allowed to happen, and modify that rule accordingly. In addition, we ask for the release of the collaborative reform document drafted by the U.S. Department of Justice. As you know, Chief Flynn and our Mayor Barrett, requested a voluntary collaborative review more than a year ago in an effort to gauge the effectiveness of the Milwaukee Police Department's practices and to establish and gain public trust and confidence. Sadly, withholding this report is having the opposite effect. The most recent draft of the report has been in the police department's possession for months, and as such is only fueling speculation in Milwaukee and throughout all of our communities. Only select individuals seem to have gained access to this report, yet the fire and police commissioners have yet to be provided the draft report for their review. A culture of transparency and accountability makes the secrecy around this process quite troubling. That document, which is apparently still in draft form, should be released immediately. And now I'd like to introduce Pastor Steve Jerby to make our final call to action.
We're calling for an independent audit of the Milwaukee Police Department to assess its effectiveness based on problem-oriented policing practices. Chief Flynn has already said that Milwaukee Police is a model of problem-oriented policing. But in the absence of the Department of Justice collaborative reform document, this is a way that the city may demonstrate public trust and take initial steps to assess and approve its effectiveness through an independent third-party review. Both Chief Flynn and Mayor Barrett know of this recommendation, and we are hopeful that they will recognize that a proper audit is a foundational stone upon which Milwaukee can begin to build greater trust between the community and the department. And finally, the Community Coalition for Quality Policing asks that the Fire and Police Commission begin reviewing modifications to the standard operating procedures that we drafted with input from citizens, coalition members, and police officers. This document, which is available today, has already been submitted to the chief, to the mayor, to the Fire and Police Commission, and the Milwaukee Police Association. We're asking that it be reviewed for possible ratification by the Fire and Police Commission. We now call back up Fred Roy.
So I want to thank you all for coming out today, and I have passed you out the draft CC4QP suggested SOP improvements, and if you have any questions, we'll take them at this time. Thank you.